Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, what I would like to do is actually test a couple of different cleaners for the ultrasonic cleaning for firearms. If you remember last time, in my first video for ultrasonic cleaner, I usually use this. It's called the Simple Green, and it's the aircraft and precision cleaner, which is pretty much safe for everything like aircraft exterior, general cleaner. It's non-corrosive, things like that. So if it's safe for planes, it should be safe for our firearms, right? And so far I've not had any issues with it, and it works great. It's a lot cheaper when mixed with water than using regular designated firearms ultrasonic cleaners out there. But I also have now some Slip2000 carbon killer that I would like to try, and also bore solvent cleaner from Lucas. It says actually ultrasonic and gun cleaner on it actually as well. So, but this carbon killer doesn't say anything about ultrasonic cleaner, but you do use it as a bath. I don't see any reason why you couldn't use it as an ultrasonic cleaner, so we'll give it a try and see what happens. There are a few warnings though on here, such as carbon killer can fade or remove paint, anodized finish, and bluing if left in a solution longer than recommended 5 to 15 minutes. So I'm probably going to try this out first at a 5 or 7 minute increments. And then parts that are left partially above the surface during cleaning and exposed to the air for an extended time may rust. So it seems like it's pretty strong and pretty good, but it does say non-toxic and non-hazardous. So there's something very good in this that cleans firearms very well. This Lucas stuff says removes lead, copper, carbon killer, fouling, oil, and powder residue. I think both of them pretty much say or claim the same things, but it looks like maybe this ultrasonic cleaner could be a little bit safer. It doesn't have any warnings like that. It does say exactly polymer and factory finish safe. And it also says solvent-based formula cleans deeply and leaves a micro layer of corrosion protection. So maybe the Lucas in general overall is a better product, but this carbon killer, if there's something really stubborn that you cannot get out, this probably will take care of it. So let's go ahead and start disassembling a couple firearms here. So I have the SIG SP2022. It got pretty dirty from using it initially in some steel competitions, and I haven't cleaned it after maybe. It's probably got at least 800 to 1,000 rounds in it as well. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's dirty. And this is the P320 X-Five that I'm using now in competition, and I'm pretty sure it definitely has about 1,000 rounds or more in it as well. But it's also pretty dirty. So let's take a look at it. I'm going to disassemble it, and then I'll show you what they look like, what the parts look like dirty before I use the ultrasonic cleaning, and then after as well, so we get a good comparison. So here is the X-Five, 99% disassembled. I didn't take out the grip weight or the magazine release obviously, but inside of the grip maybe you can see some of that dirt inside of there. This I'm not going to put in the ultrasonic cleaner though. I'll just use a wipe to clean it, but you can put this upside down in it and let it sit. Here's the spring, which isn't too bad. The guide rod, which is just oily. Here's the barrel. Lots of cake up here on the bottom edge of the barrel. Also here on the feed ramp, you can see a lot of caked on stuff, and around the edge as well. Here's the slide where you really can see how dirty it is. All along the back here and inside of the grooves. And I took the firing pin out and everything there, which is super easy. I really love the P320 that way. It's the easiest gun to disassemble, especially the slide. You have the FCU, which you might think it's normally black, but actually this is super shiny when clean. So lots of buildup here. It's actually pretty thick, pretty dirty back here as well, up in that area. So we're gonna take a look and see how clean they can get from the cleaners. The firing pin is not too bad, just a little oily. Same with the other smaller components here, the ejector spring and back plate. Okay, now I have the 6 Hour SP2022 taken apart. Just to briefly look over it, guide rod and spring are not super dirty, but they'll shine up a little bit better with ultrasonic cleaning. These roll pins over here, pretty much okay. This is the slide. It's a little dirty in there. Maybe not as many rounds through it as the P320, but that is also pretty dirty anyway, down in through those dips there and along the bottom part of the slide. This I know is quite dirty. You get a lot of cake on with the P320 right here, some carbon on this rail assembly, pretty much this rail block that the slide slides into. That's easy to take out, just one roll pin. Take down lever is fine. And then here is, I guess we'll call it the SP2022 fire control unit or whatever, but it's basically the trigger group or the hammer group here. But it's a little oily and greasy, a lot of dirt here, down in there, and we'll see what it looks like after we clean it up. This is the inside of the grip module of the SP2022. I left the trigger in there. It doesn't really need to be taken out. You can just dump this upside down into the ultrasonic cleaner as well without any issues. And what's great about the ultrasonic cleaning is it'll get in between all the nooks and crannies. Back to the slide, I didn't take it apart as far as removing the firing pin and all that. You'll have to take some of these roll pins out to get to that. And the ultrasonic cleaning will get inside of there anyway, and you just have to make sure you blow it out with some compressed air. That way nothing will rust and nothing will go wrong there. So let's go ahead and get started with the ultrasonic cleaning solution. Alright, so I've never done this before, but this time I've put in a plastic bag inside of the ultrasonic cleaner to hold the solution. I think you could also do this with a Ziploc bag if you choose, but in this sense I feel like it'll be easier to clean or take out the solution, and it could also help you reuse the solution in a way, because you could pull out the solution, cut a hole in the corner of the bottom of the bag and put like a funnel and filter back in the other container and just let the fluid go back in, and you'll have cleaner fluid for the next cleaning. Or what you could do is, in a Ziploc bag, put a little bit of solution in the Ziploc bag, and in the basin put water, and then you'll put the bag of parts and solution into it, and what should happen is the vibrations from the ultrasonic cleaning should still be able to affect the cleaning solution inside of the bag. It might absorb some of those vibrations and maybe you won't get an effective cleaning, but it would still, I think, give you a good enough cleaning. But I haven't tried it in order to tell you for sure. But this somewhat will, I guess, give you an idea of how well the plastic can help or not help, I guess. So of the Slip2000 carbon cleaner, I only have a 7-ounce bottle. They look bigger online when you buy them, but hopefully this is going to be enough solution. And maybe it'll be just enough. Usually I like to put a little bit more in there, a little bit higher, but we'll just go ahead and pour that in there like that. And we'll start with the P320. Since it's the dirtiest, I feel like it's going to need maybe the strongest cleaning. So I'll take the FCU and I just put that in there like that. Put the barrel in, that fits in there, firing pin, all of these other little things, why not? They don't hurt. Let's see. Now I do have some things sticking up, and it does say be careful, they might rust, but we'll keep an eye on it. The spring, I'll just wipe the spring down myself. So anyway, let's go ahead and turn it on. And let's see what happens. We'll do 8 minutes first. Okay, it's finished. Let's take a look at it. I noticed that usually I'll see bubbles and stuff like that floating and really working to clean, but with this solution I didn't see it. I don't know if it's because of the plastic bag or if it's the nature of the solution, if it's maybe a little bit thicker than typical, but look at that. I think it's done a good job so far. It is warmer, so the ultrasonic cleaner is heating up the solution, but I still see a lot of grime in through there. Maybe we just need another run at it. Usually I do around 10 minutes and this was only 8 minutes, so I'm going to do another run, I think, and then we'll check it later. So I do it 2 or 3 times to really get them clean, make less work at the end. So let's come back to you on the second run. Okie dokie, let's take a look after the second run. And I can really see along that edge there that it's pretty shiny and clean now. Even up into there, all the caked on stuff that was on there is gone now. This area is super clean and shiny now. I think now I can actually take a wipe and wipe it all down and blow it dry. Here is the barrel. Feed ramp is very, very, very clean and shiny now and smooth. Inside of the barrel, I think it's just going to take a few wipes. Maybe see a few specks in there, but in general, very, very clean. And the rest of it, just these little ones that really weren't too dirty anyway, but now they're also pretty clean and warm. The firing pin looks really clean now. Nice and shiny silver. What else is in here? Anything else? And by the way, I noticed that there's a leak in the bag now. There wasn't a leak before, but I think the ultrasonic cleaner kind of created the hole. So maybe need a stronger bag like a Ziploc. But yeah, there's the ejector set there. That's pretty clean. All right. The last thing, now that I have room, is to put the barrel, or the slide, sorry, the slide in it. It's too long to fit in there. I don't think it's going to fit for me, so unfortunately I'm going to have to clean it by hand, it looks like. That's a bummer, because I mean, what I could do though, maybe I'll use the Lucas just for this because I have more solution. I can fill it up higher and it'll actually cover this a little bit more. So let's go ahead and change out the fluid. We'll put it into the funnel, back into the bottle so we can use the Lucas stuff. Since there's already a hole in it, I could just let it drip out of there, but we gotta go quick. So the coffee filter and the funnel work quite well, it looks like. Solution's going right through it. There is some dirt inside of the bag still, so that's good. Keep as much dirt out of it as possible, and you'll be able to reuse this fluid many times more. Inside of here I still have some fluid. Let's see if we can save any of that. There we go. And then just let that sit and go right through, okay? All right, so let's clean the SIG SP2022 with the Lucas Bore solvent cleaner. I do have some other of that exact same stuff in this bottle that's still usable, so I don't want to open up a fresh new bottle, but we're gonna pour this in there at full strength. I don't want to say the bag was a bad idea, but it didn't work well for me because there was a hole in it. But I think, you know, with a Ziploc, it would have been a lot better. And you can see a lot of that dirt settle at the bottom, so I'll clean that out before I put it back in there. Also, it's at the minimum, so maybe I can just go ahead and put some fresh new cleaner in there. So when you open the cap, it looks like this. You got to take off the seal. Pretty easy. Smells good. That's one thing I like about the Lucas. I think this Lucas is a little bit cheaper as well. I don't want to put too much in it because I want to make sure it all fits back in the other bottle as well. And then when you put stuff in it, obviously the level is going to rise a little bit more. So here is the SIG slide, and that fits perfectly in this ultrasonic cleaner. I'll put this this trigger group kind of in there. You'll notice that the parts are a little bit shiny before I put them in there. That's because I wiped them down a little bit before I put them in there. And the reason I do that is just because the more you wipe down, the less dirty the solution will get from cleaning. And the less dirty the solution is, the more times you can use it. And we're not testing the ultrasonic, we're testing the cleaning solutions in the ultrasonic. So it's not going to pretty much, I guess, affect the test negatively. All right, everything is in there except for, well, okay, the spring maybe fits in there too. We don't need to clean this guide rod, do we? And these pins and everything can get wiped down by hand. All right, so we're gonna let this run, and then we'll come back to you and let you see how clean they look. All right, 10 minutes done with the old Lucas, and let's see what they look like. I think they look extremely clean and shiny after 10 minutes. This slide is super shiny and clean. See what the barrel looks like. Feed ramp is perfect. Inside the barrel looks great. Just have to wipe it out. Let's see, the spring, okay, it's not too bad. Then we have the hammer group, which looks pretty shiny and clean. I don't see any dirt or grime or dust. Well, obviously no dust. This looks great. No more caked on buildup of carbon or gun residues at the edges there. Take down lever, no big issue there. This little piece for the hammer, that's gonna be all right. All right. So there you have it. I'm going to wipe them down and clean them up and put them back together, and then we'll come back to you for a final wrap-up of what I think about each of the cleaners and the cleanliness of the firearms. Okay, so in closing, both guns are super clean and work really smooth now. I would say that both of these cleaners work very well for cleaning. Here is the carbon killer, by the way. You can see there's some sediment or stuff floating at the top. Maybe that'll settle like it did for the Lucas and be stuck at the bottom, so when you pour it in slowly back into the ultrasonic cleaner for next time, you won't get all of that dirt in there. Here's the filter from when I filtered the carbon killer. It actually caught a lot of dirt. It is pretty dirty. This is the one, it's not really dry yet, but it's from the Lucas. There's not much dirt in there. So I'm wondering, you know, maybe that dirt really dissolves in a lot of fine particles, so that works well. So in the end, I probably plan to use this more often if I had to choose between this and the carbon killer, the Lucas bore solvent. Only just because it is a little bit cheaper. It's I guess probably a lot cheaper. But in the end, it seems to do a really good job, and it's very good at protecting your firearm finishes, and it's not damaging to that. But the carbon killer probably is really good for maybe revolvers or something that has a lot of caked on carbon on certain parts of your firearms. But this Lucas stuff works really well in an ultrasonic cleaner for all of the firearm parts. But I'm probably still going to use the Aircraft Simple Green cleaner just because it's cheaper. It works really good as well. And in between, maybe I'll switch over to the bore solvent once in a while until it's used up. But there are a lot of great choices to use. As long as you use an ultrasonic cleaner, you'll do a really good job. But yeah, I hope this video was informative for you. And if you guys have any questions or comments, just go ahead and leave them in the comments section. And if you like this video and you want to see more of these types of reviews for ultrasonic cleaning, just let me know. Click like on the video. And if you don't like the video, just go ahead and hit the thumbs down button twice. We'll see you in the next video.